Caleb, really encouraging that the Red Sea so much in you that you're on deck to keep going, to keep improving.
Yeah, definitely. I'm grateful for the opportunity they've given me. I've always wanted to play here and stay here. So to be signed for another year, yeah, definitely want to continue to grow and continue my rugby career here at the Reds. So yeah, I'm really grateful for the opportunity to sign for another year.
You've had that in a way with your knee injury. It's made it a little bit fortunate that you could learn the game more playing for South. What benefits do you think you have had from having a really full season learning about rugby?
Yeah, I think I needed it. At first, I think I thought I knew how to play, and not playing it for a while. I was really grateful that that did kind of happen, and I've been able to learn and to kind of learn from great players like Scott Higginbotham and George Smith, and kind of see how it all works. And then playing at South, just getting that experience, getting my confidence back. I feel like it's been that's the way it's meant to be for me, and to help me grow as a rugby player, and to be humble and to work hard. So I see that I feel like I've improved this year, but yeah, keen to keep working and know there's a lot of work to go to reach my potential.
Has your game changed since last playing compared to where you're playing now? Do you still think you're just that big ball runner, or have you added different parts to your game since playing for South this year?
Yeah, I think that's always been my strength, and how I love to play rugby is with the ball in hand. But one thing that I've definitely tried to improve on is defence, and I know that's a big part of being a complete rugby player. And so that's something I'll be working on, and especially around the breakdown. And so yeah, I'm improving, but still got a long way to go, like I said. And I'm grateful for another year that I can keep learning and improving, and hopefully play some good rugby.
Have they thrown even one line-out ball to you this year?
South? Yeah. Been a bit of I got my own spot at the back there. We maured a lot off the back of the line. I had a few jumps, so that's always good. I was real nervous when I came across to know that I'd be thrown in the air, but yeah, I think that's another. I'm grateful to Stiles in helping me and being patient with my progress in set piece.
What have you learned from? You mentioned George Smith there. I guess different players utilise George being around in different ways, and some probably ignore him. What have you wanted to do with that great asset there with George?
I think just he's got a lot of experience and just knowledge around the game off and on the field. So I've asked him plenty of questions and really try to pick his brain and do extras with him after training, and really try to improve that side of the game. He's wonderful around the breakdown, and so that's one area that I've tried to utilise and get his help with, and he's been more than happy and really been a great help to me since coming across. So yeah, he's helped a lot.
Obviously, you came across with the thought that you'd be sort of in that back row front. As we've said, you've played a lot of club footy this year. Has it been a bit frustrating? Obviously, you've come into the frame a bit more in the last couple of games, but has that been frustrating, sort of having to wait for your opportunity? No,
definitely. I think when I started playing, I realised where I was, and to be honest with myself, I definitely wasn't at the level to be playing Super Rugby. So, I enjoyed my playing club and still being part of the Red system and learning and each week trying to improve. So, yeah, I wouldn't say I was frustrated, but I guess it allowed me to learn, and now I feel like I'm closer to playing at that level.
Being specific, what's something you've seen in George Smith's game that you like, or what makes you realise why he's such a good player?
His technique, but just his back-to-back efforts. He's a very hard-working football player, and that's something that I definitely want to try to adopt. Is not just making a tackle, but the second and third efforts that he practices, and that's something that I want to add to my game as well, and just working hard around the pitch, and he does that really well.
What weight are you playing at, Caleb?
116 at the moment. 16.
So what have you been eating to bulk up?
Hey, I think a lot of weights. Weights has been big with Thorny, but yeah, just a lot of proteins and meats and everything like that. But I definitely want to trim down. I feel like 112 is probably where I'd be. I feel like I could probably get a lot more work done around the field, so got a lot of work to do to cut down to that.
At the beginning of the season, we had a good interview with Samu Karevi, who said that Thorny got guys walking around the gym in singlets so they could look at their guns and
Yeah.
really see the benefits.
Yeah.
Is that, do you do that, or are you too humble to look at yourself in the mirror?
No, I don't look at myself too much, but yeah, everybody has to wear singlets, so you kind of get a word from him. So everybody, I think it was just a bit of fun. But yeah, he pushes ourselves in the gym, and he prides himself on that. And I've really grown to love to improve in that area, and I guess that helps on the field. So.
Who do you reckon looks at themselves most in the mirror at the gym?
I think Duncan Paiawa, he'd probably be up there. He loves, he doesn't mind the old selfie. No, I'll probably say Duncan.
Yeah, that's a good dude. What have you thought of the health of club rugby around Brisbane? Like, you've played at a few venues and seen the development at West, I guess.
Yep.
They've really done a great job there. What have you thought of the club level?
No, I've really enjoyed it, and like you said, West played there. I think their first game there was the start of the year, so I think it's in good stead, and hopefully it can keep improving and to help strengthen Australian rugby. So it's in a good place, I feel.
Stiles, as coach, what sort of strong messages have you got from Stiles about just what the Reds need to be to be better?
Yeah, I think it's talks about accountability and not taking shortcuts and doing everything that we can to be better. So I really feel like that's a message that I've taken away, and being honest with ourselves and where we're at and what we need to do to improve, and doing the extras and video work that needs to be done in order to get better, not just kind of hiding, but yeah, being honest and open and willing to work hard to improve.
So Stilesy, mate, obviously not a great deal to play for in terms of finals football. So what's the messaging been about to the squad this week?
Oh, finals football's definitely out, as we all know, but there's a truckload to play for. We went into this season wanting to show our fans the style of football we could play at Suncorp Stadium. I was adamant that when the fans left, you wanted them to walk away feeling really proud about the side, win, lose or draw, and feeling proud about how they'd played. So, we were very disappointed with our game against the Force there in our last outing, and so, we've had the break now. The boys have worked exceptionally hard for the guys that weren't involved in the Wallaby squad. And here's a chance now to finish off our season at Suncorp Stadium by beating, the Brumbies team who will be playing finals, and they're a team that we've struggled to beat, to be honest, in the history of Super Rugby. So, we can make a really good statement to our fans about who we are as a side this Friday night.
Caleb was just saying that he almost felt like you guys have gone through a mini pre-season again, all over again. Compare that to some of the other clubs, just keep playing footy. Is that, I guess, to build that fitness base, which has been in the news a bit, do you think that was a focus for you guys?
Oh, listen, rugby now is it's a season that goes for a full year. There's a lot of mini competitions throughout the season, isn't there? Your Super Rugby, then you go into a break. For the international window, you come back, you play a few games. Players will then go and finish off the club season, NRC. So your traditional old school pre-season's really gone, and you've got to maximise blocks throughout the year when you do have some downtime. And we did that with the group here. They went through a very gruelling 3 weeks of training, and if you'd seen training yesterday, you would have seen the physicality and brutality, I suppose, in that session, which was really pleasing.
What did you make of Chet's comments that, and a couple other players said it as well, that the Australian Super Rugby teams aren't fit enough? What did you think of that?
Oh, listen, we're all striving to be better. The whole Australian conference has struggled. Australian rugby's struggling. So there's many different areas that we can all improve on. Our skill level, our execution under fatigue, and that links into then our fitness. And we're all trying to improve in those areas. And it's something that Australian rugby, when we had the coaches conference, a few weeks ago, we're all on board with, in terms of a national program around our strength and conditioning. Because the reality is, your best players, they're with us for 6 months a year, and then they're with the Wallabies for 6 months a year. So we do need to have that, collaboration on how we manage their programs to get the best out of them.
When you're looking at this game against the Brumbies, it was probably one of the tamest 40 minutes we've played this year, that loss down in Canberra when everything was to play for at 10-all?
Yeah, I was gutted. I don't think I'd felt that way about a result of a game as a player or as a coach for an exceptionally long time. We went into the change rooms at half time at 10-all, and we felt we'd played a really solid 40 minutes of football, and we felt we were in a position to really attack that second half and to come out and to give 2 tries away, basically back to back in the first few minutes of the game, and it was over. And it was a very poor performance, and I hope the boys have reflected on that second 40 minutes and prepared to come out and put in an 80-minute performance against the Brumbies, because they will.
Is it a youth policy coming these last couple of games, or there's a couple of guys who might have a chance? I guess 13 is a position where you guys might be struggling a bit in terms of some who might not be fit, and Campbell's still a bit undercooked. Are you looking to young guys to fill those spots?
Probably went into the Blues game in Samoa, picking a few of the younger blokes, having a look towards 2018, but I still feel that a lot of those selections we were making were still based on merit. And we'll continue to do that for the next 2 games.
How is Summer?
He came out of his boot Thursday of last week. He's improved really well, even to the point where he joined in with the team session at the very end yesterday in the non-contact part. But he's touch and go for this week, but most likely unlikely.
And Campbell?
Campbell fully trained yesterday. As I said, we had probably a 30-minute block at least of full contact, and he competed in the full 30 minutes and came through very well.
So is there a thought, obviously with Carmichael playing a lot of 12 for the Wallabies, is there a thought to maybe push him into the front line? Or?
Listen, Kay still plays in the front line a lot for us anyway. It's not like he went from playing, in your traditional fullback position all year for us to then going into the 12 position for the Wallabies, which was foreign to him. So he'll still spend time up front for us. But he's been a really good footballer for us at 15 this year. The way he's brought the ball back on kick returns, exceptionally physical, and he gives us such a strong voice from fullback as well. At times, it's a trade-off. Do we make a positional change for him, or do we keep what's best for the Reds?
You've announced, apart from Caleb Timu, 2 really tall, impressive young locks. What do you see in Angus Bligh and Harry Hawkins?
Yeah, it's tall footballers are a bit of a thing of the past, to be honest, and we feel that we've done a really good job through our recruitment and our pathways and development, that we've got a really exciting group of second rowers to take this organisation forward. Harry Hawkins started in all the games for the Australian under-20s, and he's a player that incredibly athletic. He's got a real toughness for someone who's only 18 years of age, that I haven't seen in a long time. And you've got people like Brad Thorne, who's done absolutely everything, predicting he could be a 100-game Wallaby. So, there's big statements to be making, but he's a quality person, a quality footballer. And Angus Blythe, he was someone that, I believe the Gold Coast Suns were targeted as a schoolboy to try and get into their program, and he was very strong about staying in rugby, and it's been great to see his development from that schoolboy footballer, into the under-20s program that Queensland won undefeated, and to see him, starting to fill out that massive frame of his means he's going to be a very good footballer going forward.
Hawkins in particular is he's lanky. You're going to have to lock him in the gym with Thorny and get 20 kilos on, or what's your...
Yeah, I think anyone who gets locked in the gym with Thorny will put 20 kilos on pretty quickly. And that's one of the benefits of having Thorny in the program, working with the Reds, but also with those developing footballers. We really feel if we can concentrate on our best young footballers and develop them and put a lot of time into them, that accelerates their development and means they'll be playing Super Rugby a bit earlier than what they might do if they're in a different program.
With Hawkins, you've signed him for 3 years, which is a fair rap for an 18-year-old kid.
Oh, massive rap to sign a young footballer for 3 years. But it's something that we probably look back in the past, and I think we probably missed the ball around our recruitment of our young kids and making sure that we develop these footballers, but we put them on a contract and a progression that shows the importance of them to our program. And Harry is a prime example of that. A 3-year deal allows him to fully physically develop, physically, but also with his skills. And I think he'll be playing Super Rugby sooner than what everyone probably expects.
So is that a 3-year full contract or a 3-year sort of mixed contract?
Yeah, it's listen, you'd have to talk to Sam about that, but it's a mixed contract. It's progression over the next 3 years.
Reports last night that Jake McIntyre's heading overseas. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, listen, Jake is going to Argentine, and listen, Jake's an absolutely quality individual. He's someone that is a real professional with how he goes about his business. So, I was excited that he was able to pick up a contract and continue to play professionally because he's such a good bloke. It's a difficult as a 10 here, I suppose, at Queensland. We've got Quade Cooper, we've got Hamish Stewart coming up, who we've got very big raps on as well. So, I can understand someone like Jake wanting to look for opportunities overseas.
You put a lot of time and games into Jake. What was the final ledger on what you got from Jake, or what you saw from Jake?
Oh, listen, as I said, Jake, he was a good example for a lot of our other players about how to prepare for a football game. Being a 10 is very difficult. You've got to put a lot of time into the game plan, into understanding, into driving it, into getting the best out of the other players around you. And Jake worked very hard on that. And listen, he's only 23, I think, so he'll go overseas, and sometimes a little stint overseas can help sharpen you up. And as we've seen now with the fluid movement of footballers internationally, it doesn't mean he's finished in Australia.
Good. Cool.
Good stuff. Thanks, Caleb.
Awesome.
All good.
Hey, mate. Thanks for that.
No worries.
Cheers.
Sweet.
Cheers.
Thanks, Caleb. Appreciate it, mate.
Set it.
You came across with the thought that you'd be sort of in that back row front. As we've said, you've played a lot of club footy this year. Has it been a bit frustrating? Obviously, you've come into the frame a bit more in the last couple of games, but has that been frustrating?
Something you've seen in George Smith's game that you like, or what makes you realise why he's such a good player?
Go!